Syracuse coach Gerry McNamara joins us now on Citrus TV's basketball preview show. And Coach Boeheim said that he lost four of his best scorers last year. And two of those guys, Dion Waiters and Fab Melo. We all saw how much they improved on the court. But what did they bring to this team off the court, in the locker room?
Well, I think some of it was intangible. Dion was such a tough kid. Fab obviously changing some shots, and then you add leaders and Scoop and Chris. So, obviously we lose a lot coming into this year, but I think more importantly we're adding some guys that didn't get the minutes maybe that they were capable of playing because we were so quality at depth. And I think this year they're ready to step into some of those roles and make some things happen.
Adding to that depth, at least at the guard position, is Trevor Cooney. He was a top 40 recruit in the country, but he redshirted last year. Now he's one of the most hyped players on the team. What's he going to be able to add to the Orange this year?
Well, Trevor can really shoot it. More than anything, Trevor's put himself in such a great position, not just in the standing of the coaches, but amongst his teammates and how hard he's worked. He really worked as hard as any player I've ever worked with over the last year or so. Trevor shoots lights out. It's really how he develops from this point on. Obviously he could shoot. Is he going to add a little bit more to his game, which he's done? So it's all there. It's all there for Trevor to be really, really successful, and he works hard enough to put himself in that situation. So we were so deep last year in that position, and obviously when a kid like Michael Carter-Williams isn't playing the minutes that he's capable of playing because we were so deep. So I think it puts it in perspective of really the quality of play we had at that position. So I think these guys are going to be ready. I think they're going to be excited to play and know that they're going to get quality minutes, and I think they're capable of being productive in those minutes.
You talked about Michael Carter-Williams, how he could have played a lot more minutes last year, but he was buried on the depth chart behind a guy who was number 4 pick in the NBA draft, and another guy in Scoop Jardine who was possibly looking at the draft until he broke his foot right before the draft started.
Yeah, just an unfortunate situation, really, for both our guards. Both those freshman guards, any other year would probably come in and play immediately. You're playing behind, obviously, the number 4 pick in the draft and a 3-year starter, basically, with Scoop. Scoop's been a big-time winner in our program. Him and Chris Joseph are probably two of the winningest, if not the winningest, 2 players in our program's history. So it's tough to get minutes over guys like that have been there and done that. So I think it was a great learning experience more than anything for both of them. It was a little bit tougher probably in Michael's case because he was playing and Trevor was in a redshirt season and was aware that he wasn't going to play. So they both learned a lot, and they both, more than anything, went through a difficult time. And I think he matured through those processes, and I think it's going to help them come this year when they do face a little bit of adversity. They're going to be ready for it.
Michael Carter-Williams, everyone said that he could have played more minutes last year. He was also a very hyped player, too, just like Trevor Cooney. I mean, he was a McDonald's All-American.
Michael's very capable, and we certainly think that he could be one of the better guards, not just in our league, but in the country if he plays to his potential. And one thing about Michael, he's got that arrogance and that confidence, and I like that. I love that in a player. I think that's part of it, is being self-confident in what you're about to do, not just talent, but being self-confident that you're going to go out and win games. And we feel like we have players, not just Michael. Michael's really got it, but there's other guys on this team that have it as well. So that's a skill. And when you have a number of guys that have that skill where they feel that they're confident enough to go out and be one of the best players in the country, it's going to be hopefully productive. And we think guys that have that attitude are going to be successful.
Over the past few years, SU has seen some excellent wingmen. Chris Joseph and Wes Johnson now both going to the NBA, and it looks like C.J. Fair's going to have to step up and take that spot. In your words, does he have to be a little bit more arrogant, or what does he have to do this year?
He already is. He already is more arrogant and more confident. And to see where he's come from his freshman year, CJ's a guy that didn't need the basketball. He just had a nose for it. He found it in the lane, and that's how he scored his points. And now all of a sudden we watch him in preseason, you glance down and he's going between his legs and the step-back jump shots, and he's really expanded his range. This is a guy that's worked on his game, and he's put himself right in a situation where he could be the next guy we're talking about next year. That's how good he is, and that's really how capable he is of having a great year. So C.J. Fair's done a great job for us, and he did it without the basketball. Now the basketball is going to be in his hands a little bit more often. So I think he's ready for that situation.
Now, this is your final season in the Big East. The Orange moving to the ACC starting in 2013, but at least for the final season in the Big East, you're going to be without one of the most famous sights in the Big East over the past couple decades, Jim Calhoun on the UConn sideline. I mean, what's that like been competing against him for the past decade?
It was great. I think Coach Boeheim summed it up best. He's probably done the best rebuilding job there ever has been. To take the program at Connecticut and to put it where it is, where he leaves it, in Kevin Ilee's hands. So he's meant so much, not just to the Big East, but to college basketball. And I think it's 3 national titles he's won, and certainly fiery, and what he's done in young men's lives of sending them to the next level, and not just that, but improving their lives and maturing them as young men. So it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad looking over at that bench and not seeing him because you're so accustomed to seeing it. And when you think of, UConn, you think of Jim Calhoun. So it is sad to see him go, but what a legacy he leaves behind.
Coach Calhoun taking UConn a long way from back when they were in the Yankee Conference, now a national contender almost every year. But now let's focus back to Syracuse. Let's focus back to this year. You're starting the season with the Carrier Classic. The first game that you're coaching, it's on an aircraft carrier. It's outside. When was the last time you coached a basketball team on a boat?
I don't think that's happened. It's going to be great. I got a chance to watch it last year with Michigan State and North Carolina, and what an unbelievable event and venue and great experience for our guys, and get a chance to go out there and visit with some of the military. It's going to be a pretty unique experience that not a lot of teams get to go through. So we've never done it. Certainly, we hope it's not windy, but it's just going to be so fun to go out to San Diego and get to experience something that not a lot of teams get to do.
Coach Boeheim also talked about how San Diego State is a quality team. They made the NCAA tournament last year. So just the game against San Diego State, there's plenty to think about. But now that SU is going to be playing this game outside, you have to worry about wind. You have to worry about humidity. What's it like having a game plan for a game that's not indoors?
I don't know. I don't know. We've never done it, So certainly we're going to figure that out. And hopefully we'll have a chance leading up to that game to maybe get on one of the courts for kids that Coach built, or maybe get out to San Diego and shoot on some hoops outside. I'm not sure what our practice schedule is going to be leading into that game, but it's tough to prepare for something that you've never done. So I'm sure we'll figure something out. And again, you can make those excuses of not being able to shoot in wind or rainy, humidity, whatever, foggy. But at the end of the day, you got to go out and compete, and hopefully we put ourselves, when it comes game time, in a position to win.
Anything that gives you guys a reason to go to San Diego, I'm sure you wouldn't argue with, no?
That's not bad either. It's starting to get cold here already, so hopefully we have the winter we had last year, because that wasn't too bad.
Well, best of luck this season, Coach. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot.